if I can see my screen. Yes, you can see my screen too. So I'm here to tell you how we built Turkish Airlines MCP and how we were the first airline that released their MCP and how we built basically that MCP. So before that, a small advertisement. We are one of the biggest airlines in the world. You obviously know that. So we have more than 500 airplanes, and right now we are expanding it to 800. And we travel more than 350 destinations all over the world. So we are, the biggest airline in the industry. And we carry more than 90 million passengers annually, so it is a huge number. And behind that Turkish Airlines, the core of innovation and how we build technology is Turkish technology, which was founded around 4 years ago. So Turkish technology not only serves Turkish Airlines, but serves all of the airline industry. If you are from one of those industries, you probably know Lufthansa systems. So they basically do a lot of the airline industry software. And we aim to be one of those providers, not only for Turkish Airlines, but the whole industry, and hopefully be one of those industry leaders. So Digital Lab, my team is behind that innovation. So being an enterprise and innovating in an enterprise is really tough, but our Digital Lab is working as a startup inside an enterprise. So we are constantly trying new ways of doing business, whether we can, how we can use technology. We are a tech-driven team. So whenever there's a new technology, our team just tries to do new things, and we obviously know how we can solve. We obviously know the pain points of the airline industry, and we try to address them using those. One of those examples is Turkish Airlines MCP. So I believe around February. We were thinking if we can build an MCP, and we weren't very sure if that can be a thing, because at that time, the MCPs was around GitHub and some developer tools. But we were thinking, what if we can use that MCP for exposing our APIs? Because if you know MCP, and obviously you know that what MCP is and why we should be excited about it. So we thought that, that would be the next big thing. And we obviously do a lot of different things around that, but right now our main focus is MCPs, and right now we truly believe that chat is the new UI. So right now as Turkish Airlines, we have two main channels. One is web and one is mobile. But we see a trend where this goes beyond our applications and to chat applications. Right now, people tend to get inspiration from ChatGPT. Most of us probably use ChatGPT or any other AI tool to inspire where should I go next. And one of the questions often asked to those platforms are, what is the cheapest flight? When is the next flight? How we can do a round trip? What would be the required budget and so on. So this example, I'm not sure if you are reading it, but this is me trying our MCP. I was in abroad, and my mother-in-law was at our home, and she needed to go to the airport, but babysitter was coming at 9. So I needed to find a suitable flight for her to take to the Konya. So instead of entering our website and filling all those information, I just asked Claude. By that time, Claude was the only tool that we were, only the mainstream tool that we can use to consume our MCP. But today, it is much different, and I will mention about it. So instead of me thinking what is the best flight, when we live in Üsküdar, and when she needs to go to the airport, what should be the connection time and so on, our MCP cleverly searched flights for today, offered a flight that is 1 hour later than the first flight, but it was 500 liras cheaper. So instead of paying 500 more, it cleverly picked 1 hour later flight so that she can catch that flight easier. And after that, using our MCP, we can create a booking link that you can directly book through our website. In the short term, hopefully in 2026, by the next year, we are also working how we can book a flight from start to the end through MCP. Can I get a water from? Yeah, thanks. Sorry. So with our MCP, since we are authenticating through our Smiles is our frequent flyer program. So since we are authenticating through Smiles, you don't need to remember, if you have a booking with us, you don't need to remember your PNR number. So in that case, can you check if I can check in for my next flight? Because as airlines, we sometimes do overbooked flights. So I recommend everyone to check in when check-in opens so that you don't have a surprise when you go to the airport. So it can cleverly fetch my flight information, get the check-in information and retrieve those. You probably, as you know, we are live and you can try it out with the supporting LLMs. I will not do a demo, but we can do if you like. So what are the features that we support right now? So most of the tools that we, do you need the QR? No? Okay. So most of the features that we support with our MCP are read-only tools, and I will mention why we choose that path. So you can search flights, you can check the flight status both by route and phone number. You can check your booking details, you can get promotions, get city guides, and so on. And since we are authenticating through Smiles, you can get your member profile, and you can ask questions like how many miles I'm losing this year, so that I can keep my status. So as I mentioned, building an MCP in an enterprise world came with challenges. And one of the challenges and one of the most critical challenges we faced, and probably you will face in enterprise setup, is security and governance, because securing an MCP is not known internally. So instead of opening a new thing to the adding a new challenge to our security teams, we used our existing mobile application API. So if anyone here trying to understand what we can do, I spoke with a MCP lead from Lufthansa today, and they were thinking how we can start. So my obvious answer would be start with a small thing, choose read-only APIs if you have one. So we used all of the tools that we expose right now are read-only tools, so that we don't do any weird stuff. We don't cancel your booking ticket accidentally and so on. And since we are authenticating to all of our APIs, we had an option to rate limit by your frequent flyer ID. So we have like hard limits that you can call how many tools, how many APIs per day. And we used OAuth 2.1. It was one of those big challenges. It is changing rapidly with the latest introduction, with the latest changes to the MCP spec, but I'm pretty sure David will mention those, and so I'm skipping those. So OAuth 2.1 is a relatively new standard to the OAuth specification, and you need to have dynamic client IDs and so on. So instead of we waiting a couple of months for our enterprise authentication system to support that authentication. It's back. So instead of waiting a couple of months, we integrated our OAuth, we implemented our OAuth 2.1 specification using the existing APIs, existing mobile APIs. So for those three, we came across with Cloudflare's example SDK, example repositories that really helped us along the way. So if you are thinking about governance, rate limiting, OAuth 2.1, I definitely recommend checking out Cloudflare docs, although I'm looking to the AWS guys, so I'm not talking with them. So, but I know they have a good business with them, so I'm just kidding. So I definitely recommend checking those out, and it will be just aramızda kalsın. I'm not sure what is the English, sorry about that. Aramızda kalsın. Hala bir para ödemiyoruz Cloudflare'a. So their free tier is so generous that we still up to date don't pay anything to the Cloudflare. 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting with Cloudflare, and I was like worried, guys, we still don't pay you anything, and they were totally fine with that. Okay, no worries. You will end up paying in a long term. So this is how cloud providers work. So since we are a lab environment, as I mentioned, we are still trying to find a good way to have check-in flows, how we can like work with disruptions in case of your flight is canceled. We offer a new flight to you so that you can choose your flight through our MCP. And one of the things that I want to mention today is how we are utilizing, how we are seeing the next big thing. It is MCP apps. It was called MCP UI, but I believe a couple of days ago, I believe on Friday, they had a blog post. Fatih also tweeted that. So MCP UI was a library that was adding support for MCPs to render UIs. And they merged with MCP spec. They are planning to merge with MCP so that we can render UIs through our MCPs. So we are going in a world where instead of we having fully blown UIs, we will have like partial UIs. You will see our seat map in the conversation flow. How does it work? So I'm pretty sure it is not readable on the back, but how does it work? When you register your tool, you also expose a meta. So you gave an output template to the MCP client that whenever that tool is being used, you can use that metadata to render something. And there is an external link here, if you see that. We show the Turkish Airlines flight.html. We send it to the client, and when that tool is being called by MCP client, it fetches that HTML, and that HTML is being rendered. And what you see is you are seeing your boarding pass on ChatGPT or whatever platform that's going to support those SDKs. So it is a relatively new thing, and ChatGPT will release their App Store at the end of this year. So if you are like me, missed the building first mobile application, building first Android application, building first iOS application. So if you missed all of those, make sure you don't miss that one, because I truly believe that it will be one of the biggest things that we will face in a short term. So what obviously we needed to be there as well. So we build our ChatGPT app, which you can test it out today if you are clever enough to see that URL or watch it through the replay. But anyways, so it will be aramızda again. So it is still on a beta product, but right now this is completely ChatGPT, you can integrate our MCP and see all of the flight options internally. So instead of like writing everything by text, you can now see all of those flight options along with your chat story. And if you are curious if your flight is delayed or if your flight is landed, you can see your flight status there. Or if you are curious if there is a promotion from Turkey to the US, you can see those promotions and hopefully book through that. So those are the sneak peeks of what we are building right now. But if you are not a developer but a UX person, there is a huge potential there, because everyone tries to do that. At first will be, okay, cool, I will do my whole website there and it won't be usable at all. So if you try those, you will immediately see that there is a new UX issue, because you still need to be inside that chat, but those UI is completely interactive. So you can do clicks, you can expand and close stuff. So for example, in that case, I'm not sure if you can see that by clicking there, you can get a detailed view of that flight and so on. So if you are interested in UX, I believe there is a potential there as well. So not only Turkish Airlines MCP, but as Turkish technology, we use MCP for our internal processes as well. So TKGPT, which is like a ChatGPT internally, because we obviously cannot use any cloud providers, and hopefully one cloud provider is coming to Turkey. I hope you guys will be the second. That's the spirit I want. So we are utilizing Atlassian, we are using Confluence and Jira internally, but we are using Confluence and Jira internally, so we are using Atlassian MCPs. We are using on-prem LLMs, which are deployed on our on-prem GPUs. And right now we are also working on how we can book our personal flight tickets internally through MCP. So MCP is a really big buzz internally at Turkish Airlines as well. And one of the topics that I want to mention is we also developed an open source UI library, and we built an MCP that you can use to understand what you can build with that UI library. Because as an airline, we obviously needed a better way to build our UI. So instead of trying to fork everything and build upon that, we released an open source UI library. Hopefully you can check it out, and you can definitely check it out and contribute to that as well. And we also released a MCP of takeoff UI, and by that MCP you can get component list, you can get component info, you can like integrate with Tailwind and so on. And one of the things that is really clever that our team made is you can directly code from Figma file to the Figma using our tekrar teşekkürler. İngilizcem için kusura bakmayın.